Hey guys, what's up? This is Casey. This is Shot Science Overtime number 159. Yep,
Amazing.
getting up there.
Yeah.
We want to thank you guys for being here today. It's our regular time for our show on Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, and we'd like to do this as often as we possibly can. But this is our live show. This is not like a regular Shot Science tutorial or something like that. So if that's not what you're into, you can check out now. That's cool. Go check out one of those other tutorials. But this is like a time where we're going to spend a little bit of time to answer your guys' questions about anything basketball related, whether that's passing, shooting, dribbling, defense, how to talk to your coach, athleticism, conditioning, whatever it may be. Send those our way while we're doing this topic to start the show off. And when we finish with our topic, we'll get into answering those questions. But we have a topic for you right off the top that we think is going to be something that is going to help you guys become better players and maybe make your road a little bit easier.
Yeah, truly.
And so we're going to jump right into that and keep sending those questions in. Go tell your friends and family. Follow us on all the Shot Science stuff. We are Shot Science and everything. Google Plus, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it may be. We are Shot Science, and we want to have you guys there. So let us know. Okay, so let's jump into our topic. And our topic for today is the number one key to completing a pass.
That's interesting thought, huh?
Yeah, and this is not something that is so down to like kind of the mechanics of passing so much, but it's a way for you to be able to get the ball off. Right. So what is it?
Well, the biggest problem in passing in basketball, particularly with those that are not very skilled, is that they look right at the target and then they throw the ball to them, and the defense is obviously on board with that too, and they're able to step in, knock it away, or steal it. And so one of the things that we teach, and we think this is really important, is that if you're going to make a pass, and particularly against zone defenses, what you want to do is, first of all, fake a pass somewhere other than where you want to throw it. And when I fake a pass, the defense usually will move. Let's say that there's a person on me and I need to be able to get a more direct route on my pass to, let's say, the post player. Then what I want to do is, if I take and maybe fake a little pass toward the floor and they step with the arms down, I come right back and I can come over the top of the head.
Well, they have to respond to what you're doing.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're not playing very effective defense.
Well, yeah, and so you have to make it believable. And,
Yeah.
and some of my players, when we start, aren't very believable with the passing. And, they will do things like this. They'll look in this direction and they'll fake this direction, and nobody's buying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you got to be a real magician about it.
Yeah.
You have to have it kind of down to your craft, and it.
You really do. And the thing is that this fake of the pass moves the defense.
And here's the other thing too. We see it all the time where kids get the ball in their hands and they freak out.
They're not sure what they're going to do.
And they panic, and that's one of those things that comes down to maybe not having confidence in your skills, or maybe you're not sure really what to do because you don't have the experience or whatever. But one of the best things you can do for yourself, no matter really where you are, is just take a second and collect yourself and be calm and relaxed about it.
Yeah.
When it comes to having the basketball in your hands, you don't need to catch it and immediately do something with it necessarily. Obviously, you don't want to sit there and wait. But if you catch it, wait for a count, and assess the situation, that's okay, typically. And there's going to be situations where you catch it and you just go, and that's going to happen more and more as you become more experienced. But right now, you can have the ball in your hands and take a moment.
Yeah.
And that means that you can take a moment to fake the ball and go the other way, or fake it and pass the other way. And if you do that, you also are going to gain a little bit of time where you can do something else.
Exactly.
You don't have to make that an immediate thing. And then you get your defender off balance, and you can also get the whole, the defense as a whole off balance too, because if you fake one way, they all have to kind of adjust, and you've got them off balance, and you go the other way, they have to recover.
Right. I particularly like using the overhead pass a lot, especially against zones. And the thing is that we bring the ball up here and we can make that fake pass over, and we can maybe go to somebody at the baseline, just moving that defender with that fake pass. is really key.
Let's get into the exact kind of meaning of what we mean by fake a pass to make a pass, because it doesn't necessarily mean fake one way and pass the other way. What we are generally talking about is most of the time passing it into the post a lot too.
Usually that's the problem area.
It does work on the perimeter too, and it does work if you go one way or fake one way and pass the other way. That's totally fine. The big one for us though is post passing on this, because if you want to get the ball into the post, a lot of people struggle with that.
Yes.
And big guys, they get real irritated with the fact that they never get the ball fed into them. And getting the ball into the post is a big deal, because you're going to make the defense really scramble to figure out what's going on and how to recover and all of that. And what happens is that if you get in the post, then you can relocate, or somebody else is going to be open because the defense shifts, and then they can pop it back out to you, or maybe do their own move, but whatever. But the fake a pass and make a pass is generally you fake high, pass low, or fake low and pass high.
Or fake left, go right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same little bailiwick.
And you know, most of what happens is that the defense, they're going to shift their balance, and then they're also going to, if you fake high, they're going to put their hands up. And that's perfect, because then you can pass right underneath that space underneath their arms, right along their sides, and their reaction time is not fast enough to get back down there and stop the ball. So you've just created an opportunity for you to get the ball past them without really much of the defense influence going to be there. And if you fake low and pass high, what happens is their hands drop down, they get a little bit lower, and you can zip a pass right over the space over the top of their head. And for them to get their arms all the way up there and get into that area, it's going to take forever, and the ball will already be to your intended target by the time they get it up there.
Right.
So it sounds simple, but most people don't do it. And you know, if you get this down, you can very easily just fake low, pass high, fake high, pass low, and you will start to see that your passes will get there with more accuracy and regularity if you do this.
Right. And you know, another big element in passing that kind of goes along with all that, make those passes crisp.
Yeah.
You know, I find this all the time with inexperienced players, is they throw little lobs into the post. You can't get away with that because people will step around and steal it, knock it away. And so you have to be crisp with the passes in almost every situation. I can't think of one right off the top of my head where you lay one off soft. I just don't know where that might happen, unless it might be a little give. You drive and you give a little bounce pass or something,
or you lob it up to the guy that's 7 feet playing against the guy that's 6'2" or something.
Right.
You know, those kind of passes are the ones that you don't want to leave any area for the defense to be able to recover and pick them up. So little loopers and fluff ball passes are the worst thing you can do.
Oh, absolutely. Drive me nuts when I see those little marshmallow passes into the post that never get there.
They get picked off. I mean, the defense loves those, because then they see exactly where they're going. They have enough time to get there. Most steals occur while the ball is in the air in a pass.
Exactly. They get a little deflection off of that pass. One of their teammates picks it up, or they get to it, and off they go.
Yeah, and, you know, again, this sounds simple. Fake a pass and make a pass. But this is something you need to practice, and we have a video on it on Passing 101, and we talk about or is it post pass? I can't remember what it is, but it shows you how simple these little simple mechanics are in making this happen. And so, you know, maybe you're hearing this going, oh, well, duh, you fake and then you pass the ball the other way. If you think that, you're not listening to what we're saying.
Yeah.
This is a very specific thing that we're trying to get across. So fake high, pass low, and fake low, pass high. And you can tell the mechanics of where the people's hands are, or where the positioning of the hands are, and why that makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes at the perimeter of the game, when you're passing maybe to the post or to the wing, or the wing's trying to pass back to the point, you get people who are pressuring that passing lane, and you can use that same kind of maneuver there too, where you can maybe look in behind the person at the point, and the defensive person will step back, and then it creates a passing lane for you. There's those kind of things that go along with that as well. So anyway, that probably is one of the biggest things that we recommend just in passing, is use that factor, fake a pass to make a pass, and you'll find out that it works out pretty good for you. And you know, one of the things that is probably the most important turnover is stolen passes, deflected balls. I mean, those things turn into baskets for the other team on the other end. And so that's really important for us to think about, not having turnovers. You know, one of the things that I read a stat on this recently, and they were talking about on the college level, that the average turnover rate on the collegiate level is approximately 10.5 turnovers per game. Okay, and I'll bet you half of those are passes that were deflected, stolen, whatnot. Okay, but that's really a good record, because what happens is the University of Michigan only averaged 9.8 per game. I mean, that's outrageously low, which is really cool. They take care of the basketball, and that's cool in determining who's going to win the basketball game.
And let's reiterate how important it is for you to be able to get the ball into the post.
Yeah,
I mean, it is not something where you're just setting somebody else up. Yeah. That is something where you are setting yourself up 2 steps away, because you're going to get the ball into the post, then you immediately relocate.
Yeah.
And getting the ball there, I mean, the fake a pass and make a pass, that is how you're going to get it there. And as soon as that guy gets the ball, you relocate to a new spot. You're going to be more wide open than you believe, because your defender has to kind of fall off onto the post player, and the post player is going to have his defender on him. So you're going to find yourself open if you just relocate.
Yeah.
And it is a whole new opportunity. And that's one of those things where, higher level basketball players learn to do these things to create opportunities for themselves. And it may be like, 2 tiers away.
Yeah.
It might not be the 1 tier away where it's, you're maybe doing a jab step and creating some open space for you to make a move or something like that. Yeah. This is something where you're setting somebody else up to set you up, right?
It is.
Okay. Is that good for fake a pass?
That's good.
Okay, so we want you guys to remember that. Fake a pass to make a pass, and go check out that video. I think it's Passing 101 or something, or something like that. Yeah. Passing into the post, one of those two. And that will help you figure out exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. But do it and let us know how it goes. if it's working out for you guys, we would love to hear it. And it's such a simple thing that it'll take 5 minutes of work to really master it, and you'll have it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any more questions about it, let us know, and we'll get back to you guys. What we're going to do now is we're going to shut that down, and we're going to start taking your questions, and we're going to try to answer them. Before we get into that, we're going to ask our question that we ask every week, and that's our question of the day, question of the week. And that is what?
Where are you from?
Yep.
Yeah.
We want to know where you guys are from in the world. We are here in Santa Cruz, California. We are south of San Francisco, but we want to know where you guys are. Are you in Lithuania? Are you in Japan? Are you in, I don't even know. Yeah. Let us know where you guys are from, and we'll do some shout outs on people. Oh, here we go. We got some people. Hassan Abbasi is from Canada. Shahid Wims is from New York. Sammy S is from London. Lemonade Ballers from North Carolina. Lee Asaki is Lucas from Germany. Donovan Russell is from New Zealand. Wow, that's cool. Jason Williams from Bulgaria. Crackerjack 247 is from Detroit. Nathan Effeng is from Virginia. Christian, oh man, you're from Iceland. That is awesome. You might be the first person from Iceland to get to us. I'm not sure though. Actually, we had somebody from Reykjavik a few weeks ago, I think. We got. Oh man, there's a ton of you guys here.
Yeah. That's
all right,
great.
Let's do a few more, and then we'll get back into the questions. Isaac Senling is from Sweden. Sakwavian Coleman is from Nevada. Las Vegas. Momar Indaya is from Senegal. King Slime is from Augusta, Georgia. YJ Handsome is from Italy. Adam Tanganen is from Watsonville.
All right, that's our neighbor, yeah.
He's only a couple miles away from us.
Yeah.
Awesome. The Alamagan is from Frankfurt, Germany. Jason Williams, Bulgaria. I think we hit him already. Let's see here. The Reviews Dude is from New York. Nathan Lal is from Arizona. Joseph Wichard is from St. Petersburg, Florida. John Barry Ballaran is from Philippines, and Robert Newell is from California, Palmdale, California. Right. Awesome, you guys. Keep sending us where you guys are from, and tell your friends and family to check out Shot Science and be part of the team. Right. We would love that. All right, let's get into some of your guys' questions. We have quite a few already. This one is from XJ Reviews, who says, I want to play the NBA. I'm 15 and just started playing last year. Is this possible?
Well, it is possible. There are so many elements that come into play. I mean, there are not that many how many is there? 450 players in the NBA. I think it's about 450.
There's only been a few thousand players all time.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But so it's a very small super group that you don't get into really easily. But depending on your physical abilities, how much you develop your skills. Probably has a whole lot to do with you maybe having a chance to get in. And one of the things that is really important is taking those steps primarily.
Yeah.
For number one, playing on your grade school team. Number two, playing on your high school team. Next is playing on a college level team. And probably your chances are better if you're good enough to play at a Division I level. And that's where most all of the professional basketball players come from. There's some that come from Division II, Division III players, but not very many.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is that basketball at the highest levels, it comes down a lot to your skill and abilities and athleticism, but a lot of it is luck too. Because
there's a lot of luck involved.
Even the greatest basketball players and athletic basketball players, some of them never make it to the NBA. Yeah. So and we don't want to discourage anybody, but here's kind of a thing to think about. We're more about progressions rather than this huge goal that you're trying to achieve. Right. The NBA is fantastic, and if you want to set that as a goal, that's fine, but you should have some stepping stones along the way. Right. Let's use a golf analogy, and that would be this. Is it easier to think about hitting a hole-in-one, or is it easier to think about getting it in three like a three-par stroke or something like that? And the obvious answer is that hitting that hole-in-one is going to be extremely difficult. But if we give you 3 attempts to get there, you're obviously going to have a more achievable goal and everything ahead of you. Right. So work on making your high school team. Work on making your traveling team. Then work on making the college, level. Mm-hmm. And then after that, maybe you play in the D League. Maybe you play in the NBA. I don't know. Everybody's going to have a different path. Yeah. But, it's when people say they have this huge, overwhelming, looming goal, I mean, that can be kind of, demoralizing when you don't really start heading in that direction.
Right.
So set those small progressions. That's really the way to go.
All right.
Saquavion Coleman says, how to throw good passes all the time.
Well, passing is just like any other element of basketball. You have to spend time on it.
Yeah.
And not very many people really do. And one of the things that's really, in fact, I tell the story often. I went to watch a girls' basketball game. These are high school basketball games last season. And they are varsity level players. And it was the worst passing that I have seen in a long, long time. I mean, it was horrible. And this was probably toward the end of the season, and I'm thinking to myself, how come nobody is doing anything about this poor passing? And because you can't even play if you can't pass the basketball, and so that's really important to make sure you spend time executing different kinds of passes. And I noticed somebody here makes it. What about trick passes? Okay, and I think that's from Zach Henry. The thing is, I don't particularly like trick passes. I don't know what they all are necessarily.
They're not high percentage.
Well, no, and coaches generally don't like them because they are potential turnovers. Because you may think that you're pretty crafty, but somebody else sees it coming and they step in and steal it, and they're down to the other end for a field goal.
Well, are you trying to make actual points or style points?
Yeah.
There's only one of those that goes up on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
So. I think that one of the things that it comes down to is you have to have the mechanics of passing down, just like you would have to have the mechanics of shooting or dribbling or whatever.
Yeah.
And so many people don't really work on passing or dribbling, necessarily because the payoff isn't immediate. It doesn't. You don't see the ball go through the basket or get the pat on the back. It's like you have to work on these things, and the payoff comes down the line, like maybe during a game when you have everything set in place, but. Passing, there's so many different kinds of passing. There's like the one-handed push pass and overhead pass and two-handed chest pass and the wraparound pass. I mean, there's so many that you can work on. Most of it is getting down the mechanics of those things. Right?
Yep.
Crisp passes.
And spending time. And one of the things that Casey said, I want to underline it, and that is there is no great feeling of success when you are just working on your passing. When you're working on your shooting, it feels great when the ball goes through the basket. But whenever you're working on your ball skills, you're working on your passing or things like that, you don't have that elation like you have when you put the ball in the hoop. But those things are so important in helping you make that basket because they help you get there, they help you set somebody else up. Passing is really, really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one tip for passing. If you're sending a bounce pass out, don't have it bounce right in the middle of between you and the other person that's receiving the ball.
It would be slow and high, and I could pick it off with my eyes closed.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that kind of newer beginner players do is they bounce it right in the middle because that makes kind of, I don't know, geometric sense, I guess. But if you pass a ball, you want it to go about 2/3 of the way so that when it bounces, it's going to come up right at about their waist or stomach level. Right?
Yep.
So that's one of those things that you need to work on. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Lemonade Baller asks, what's the best way to make sure I can throw an overhead pass far distances?
You know, one of the things that players do with overhead passes is they oftentimes, let me turn sideways here, okay, see? They oftentimes will take the ball and they'll bring it over behind their head. That telegraphs the pass majorly because everybody in the place can see what you're going to do with it. And so we always teach that the ball comes right above your forehead like this, and that when you pass it, you full extension and you get wrist snap on it, and that will help you get the ball further on the passes.
Yeah, when it comes behind your head, it takes forever for you to deliver it.
Yeah, and it's an easy pickoff too.
And when it comes out of your hands, your thumbs and your hands should turn out, and you should finish it like this.
Yeah. And full arm extension when you go too.
And you should be able to do little short fakes like that. And when you deliver the ball, it should look just like the fakes did, except you follow through. Yeah. But everything should really snap and be quick and fast, and it should hit your guy right in the chest.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Robert Newell is asking, what is the key to being a point guard, as in when should you know to drive it in? Where should I be at? And when is the best time for me to use a screen?
You know, all of that stuff that you're talking about there, Robert, is stuff usually that your coach will coach you up on. They'll tell you when the only thing that might be a question is driving the basket or taking a shot. But otherwise, they're going to tell you, all right, pass the ball to the wing on the left and screen over here for this guy on the right. And so there usually is a choreography to plays in basketball where coaches will tell you, I want you to do this, then you do that, and there's a choreography for everybody on the basketball team. And
with time, you'll figure out what to do too. I mean,
well, yeah,
that's with experience.
Yeah, once in a while, you'll figure out that, hey, we call that running on rails, those choreographic plays, and that's fine. One of the things I think is most difficult to really defend is when it is not a choreography, but it is a response to what the defense are doing. Like a lot of people run 5-out motion, and they'll be screening down, screening away, and so there's a lot of motion involved, and it's not so much of a choreography. And when you catch the basketball, if you've got daylight to go, you go. And if you catch the ball and you've got a shot and you know you can make it, or you think you can make it and you shoot it, then you go get it. So I think that's probably more how you get to understand it. Your coach will help you to understand what you need to do in this choreography that the play is. Now, the choreography, I don't know if you understand that term, but what it is choreography is a programmed routine that tells you what you're supposed to do. Yeah, we're going to take and run a red-white. Let's call that just a play. And I'm going to pass the ball to the wing on the right, and I'm going to screen down for the post that's on the left block. He's going to flash up, and so everybody's got some kind of a role in that. That's choreography. Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that we always try to reiterate the fact that you should be a great all-around versatile basketball player without the position play coming into your mind. Sure. That should only be part of your game when your coach says, okay, you're going to be the point guard. Yeah. You're going to be the center. Then that kind of those things start to apply to you. But you should never work in your game as I am just a point guard. Yeah. I am just a center. You should be able to do everything regardless of your perceived position or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, and Robert also was asking, I was lost in the get your legs into it shot. How do I connect my legs with my arms to my shot? And how do I read the defense in mid pressure? Well, let's do this first one right here. How do I connect my legs and my arms to my shot? He's asking about connectivity.
Yeah, connectivity. One of the things that happens when we shoot is we rely upon our arms many times for the power for the shot. And in reality, we only get about 20% of the power for our shot from our shoulder, what they call the girdle assembly. Okay, and so where's the other 80% comes from? It comes from our midsection down, and that represents about 80% of the power that we can generate from shooting. Some people think that, okay, I'm going to get the other hand into it. The other hand into it actually creates havoc. It pushes the ball right, it pushes it left, and so what you want to do is get that hand off, and the connectivity comes here. Oftentimes when we're shooting, we maybe dip down and we'll straighten up, and as soon as the legs are straight, then we start our shot. We don't have enough power to get there. And so the shot usually is short and more often than not flat, okay? And here's what we need to do. Start your stroke before the legs are completely straight. And what you'll find is that you get that power that's coming through the legs and it's transferred through your body and arm to the basketball. And so that is what we call a one-part shot. It starts at your feet, it ends at the end of your fingers.
Feet to follow through.
Yeah, and a two-part shot is one where you extend the legs and you pause, and then you go ahead and shoot it. Once the legs have finished their full extension, they're done. They provide nothing for your shot after that. So in order to get it, you need to connect the two by starting your stroke a little earlier before the legs get straight.
Yeah, you don't want to have sticking or stopping points in your shooting motion.
Yeah, right.
It will kill your momentum and your transfer of power.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens is that you have to use your arms as a power source, which is not what you want to do.
You know, the shot gets really wonky when you start to use just the arms.
Because you'll be adding a bunch of tension to your shot, and you want the upper body and your arms and hands to be the delivery system, kind of like getting everything dialed in and aimed up. Right. You don't want to have to muscle with your upper body.
Right.
Okay, let's lightning round some of these so we can get through more questions.
Okay.
You'll like this one. This one's from Joseph Witchard, who says, how to push the ball up court after you get the rebound without getting the ball stolen or trapped.
Well, you know, one of the things that we have to learn as a part of ball handling is that when we're in a sprint, we have to push the ball out in front of us, and then we've got to run to it. And a lot of people actually do the opposite. They push it out kind of short, and they run away from the basketball. And so you want to keep pushing it out in front of you and still keeping it under your control. And all of that comes about through practice. That particular skill, just like any other skill. You got to practice it. Speed dribbling is one of the things you need to practice.
All right, that wasn't what I was getting at, but what do you tell people when they grab a rebound on the defensive end?
Yes. Okay, I got you. The first thing that we tell them is this: we want to bust out. In other words, we catch the ball, and as soon as our feet hit the floor, we're turning to go.
Yeah, you don't wait at all. You just get it and go.
And what happens is that most teams are coached up to receive the outlet pass from the big, where he catches it, he turns, and he knows you're going to be about the free throw line extended at the sideline. And so what happens is, while all of that is happening, the defense is getting back on defense. What happens when you bust out is this. And I don't care if you're a big guy or a medium guy or a small guy. When you hit the floor, as soon as you turn and start up the floor, now we are really pressuring the defense right now. And so instead of throwing the ball out to the
outlet,
to the outlet, out near the free throw line extended, now we're passing it to them possibly after they're already over the midcourt line. And all of a sudden, we've got pressure on the defense because the ball's getting there quicker. So, and when the bust out is this kind of thing. As soon as I hit the floor, I'm turning and I'm taking off on the dribble.
Yeah, it's not a pivot and turn and look. It is you've got the ball and you're looking to go before you even hit the ground.
Right. And you push the ball a couple of dribbles and keep your head up, and you find that guy, and there will be somebody out there, and you give the ball up to them on maybe a pass that's maybe 20 feet, maybe it's 25 feet or whatnot, but we get the ball going.
And this is all about pushing your control over the other team.
Yeah.
And you don't want to let them be the ones that you're reacting to. Make them react to you, and they're going to be in trouble.
And you want the pace. I love having the pace of the game much faster, and so that helps to speed it up. And I think that by catching the ball, deliberately turning out to the outlet, and the outlet is short, throw him the ball, and by that time the defense is already near midcourt.
Well, I mean that's like that's like the X's and O's of basketball.
Yeah,
It's like
it
you're
is.
supposed to do this and this and this, and the defense will do this. Don't give them a chance to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
be in control, go, and there is no X's and O's of this that they're prepared for. You know, they're going to have to be in recovery and scramble mode.
Right, exactly.
Okay. This one is from SF Music Lyrics, who asks how to have confidence while playing basketball.
You know,
Quick answer.
okay, the confidence in basketball comes from you having little successes. And, you know, most players, I was just talking to one of the players this morning at a lesson, and it was a girl, and we were talking about how she needs to be more bold as a player. She's really kind of reluctant and not to really to step out, and because she's afraid she's going to make a mistake. Well, how in the world do you learn anything unless you have mistakes that you can learn from? And so that is our pitch, is that let's go. And what if we make a mistake? We learn from that, hopefully, and everybody does. That's how you get to feeling more confident in yourself, is when you make a mistake, oh, God. And then the next time maybe you don't make that mistake, or maybe you make it again and you're reminded and you don't make it again, maybe ever. You probably will. But the thing is, we become kind of reluctant as players because we're a fear, it's a fear of failure in the eyes of other people. We don't care about other people, only care about yourself. And make sure that you take chances. That's how you learn.
In terms of your individual skill development.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some like very simple touchstone cliche stuff to take out of it. And you know, no risk, no reward is one.
Yeah.
And you know, you should fear never trying more than failure.
Yeah.
Because if you never try it, you'll never have those successes.
Exactly.
And failure just means that you can learn from that stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, the real key is to work on your skills.
Yeah.
If you have confidence in your skills, you will have confidence in the execution of those skills when it counts.
Well, and not be afraid that you might screw up.
Yep. Okay,
go
Momar
for it.
Andaye says, how to move without the ball. Go check out our video series on moving without the ball.
Yeah.
And we talk about the L cut, the V cut, the backdoor cut, and what else did we talk about? Something else. Go check out that, and we have a whole series of stuff that we talk about, and that will help you greatly in that area. Metro Luis is asking, do you have to be a good shooter to be a star player?
You know, that's kind of an interesting question, because some people look at star player, good player as being super skilled. One of the things that I look at is this. People fall into different brackets when it comes to scoring. There are people who can shoot it, and there are people who can score. And when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and let's say at the end of the game, and we've got to get a basket, I may not be looking at that guy who can really shoot it. I'm going to be looking at that guy who can score. He knows how to get to the basket. He knows how to finish. And that's the kind of player would be really good for everybody to try and be a good, solid playmaker.
Well,
Okay.
here's. I mean, that's totally true. I think that look at these are players that we all know.
Yeah.
Shaq, DeAndre Jordan, Dwight Howard. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
These are great star players. They can't shoot worth anything.
Yeah.
And I just think that I hope you're not asking that question so that you have a pass for your bad shooting. If you are not a good shooter, you need to work on that, because just like those three guys that I just named,
Yeah.
they get taken advantage of because of those things. And that's why you get the whole hack a Shaq, hack a Howard, hack a DeAndre.
Yeah, truly.
And that makes them less effective. Could you imagine if Shaquille O'Neal could hit mid-range shots, or he could hit his free throws?
Yeah, just the free throws would be huge.
He would have been 10 times greater than he actually was, because they would have had to respect that, and then they would have to respect what he already could do, and it would have just been a nightmare. Same thing for those other guys. So I hope you're not asking that because you want us to say, oh, it's okay, you can be a star player without being a good shooter. We don't like that. We think you should be an all-around great versatile player, and if you're not good at everything, you need to work on those things that you're not good at.
Very true. Very true.
Let's see. Benjamin Kelly's asked, what's the best way to improve on passing? You just got to work on it.
Yeah, just practice, just like everything else in basketball.
You have to have a plan. I mean, that's really, and be consistent.
Truly.
First name, last name says they're from Toledo, Ohio. What's
All right.
up? Let's see. A lot of idiots there. All right, we'll pass through them. Nathan Lal is asking, how can I shoot more consistently from behind the arc?
Well, it's all practice. You don't ever be able to do anything physical unless you spend time on it. Physical meaning using your body, using your legs, using your arms, using your hands. And so you have to spend time on it. And Casey and I both really agree on this. Start short. Don't just take and go to the 3 line and expect you to start chucking shots up and they're going in, because it's not going to happen. So what you do is you take and maybe start at 10 feet and just shoot there with good mechanics, and then move back to 12 feet or 14 feet. Shoot some more and just keep that going. And as your elements start to kind of get together for you and you're more successful in a regular, then move back a little more. And finally, you get back to the 3-point line. One of the things that's really interesting is most every high school player and junior high school player that I've ever come across have no idea what the 3 line is in dimension-wise. They have no idea. Well, it's 19 feet 9 inches, and so that's not really not that far from the basket. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to run through a few quick ones real quick.
All right.
Isaac Sunling is asking, what are the best dribble moves to get past defenders? Go check out our videos on the dribble attacks.
Yep.
And offensive moves, and that has all the stuff that we would recommend in it. The reviews dude is saying power comes from your legs and core, and he's talking about shooting.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. And your upper body and your arms and hands should be the delivery system.
That's the delivery. That tells it where to go.
Benjamin Kelly is asking, what is the best way to create space between myself and my defender?
Depends on where they are as a defender. If they're crowding you, we like to teach 2 things. We kind of have this little motto that we use, and that is, if we get somebody who's right up in our grill and we've got our dribble left, we're going to go to the basket on them, and they're probably going to foul you. And so we use this little saying, it is, they crowd, I go. And where you're going is you're going to the hoop. You probably don't ever get there because they're going to foul you before you get a full step. And the reason they foul you is they have no room or time to respond to your attack. And when you go, you don't try to step around them. You step through one side of their body or the other, and they can't possibly get into a good defensive position where they could get an offensive charge foul. If you got that, it's probably because the official didn't really see it that well. But we always attack them.
Yeah, and go check out our videos on offensive moves and all of that, and we give you a whole bunch of tools that will totally help you in that area.
Yeah, truly.
Okay, quick one here. Let's see. This one is from Sammy S., who says, what if players don't pass you the ball? How do you get noticed, even if you're just as good as them? Number one thing is that you don't have control over what they can do, so you can only do these things that help you, and that is moving without the ball. And we have a whole series of videos on that.
Yeah, that is so important.
And you can do the L cut, V cut, backdoor cut, set screens, flash in the post, flash in the middle. Yeah. You can do some sealing steps in the post. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, and you just need to be doing those things. If you're just standing there waving your hands, you have not made a case for you to get the ball.
Yeah, and they probably won't share it with you either. Now, there are certain situations where you find that players play around you. They don't want to give you the ball because they're afraid you're going to turn it over. Well, when you get the ball, you've got to make sure that you take care of it. And maybe you get a shot, maybe you get a drive, or maybe you just give the ball back to them. But you have to generate some confidence in yourself from the other players by doing things that are not going to be dangerous, where you're going to turn the ball over.
Make your case so that they are the ones that look suspect
Yeah.
when they are not getting you the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is from the Alamagan, who says, how to contest taller defenders. I'm 6'2", and I can't contest guys 6'6" or taller like I want to. And then he gets what our answer would be down here from Nathaniel Effang, who says this: deny them the ball so that they don't get the ball in the first place.
Exactly right.
Make it hard for them to get the ball so they don't have the opportunity to make it a situation where you have to contest them.
Yeah, and one of the things that we kind of teach too, we kind of look at players that maybe we have to play against, and we try to determine what their strengths are. And one of the things that you may find is that you've got this 6'6" guy who can just shoot lights out, but he has no ball skills, and even worse, he's got no left-hand ball skills. Then we're going to take advantage of that. And how do you take advantage of somebody like that? You crowd them. You get right up into their space. It's hard to shoot the basketball, especially effectively, when you've got somebody in your grill. Okay, and so if they've got ball skills and maybe they drive by you, so maybe you have to take and relax and maybe play hard on the hand where they have got good skills, and force them to play with the other.
And beat them to the spot.
Yeah.
Anticipate where they're going. Stop them before they get there.
Yeah, and so really assessing or taking note of what different players do can help you defend them, because we had a guy that was just a killer player locally a couple of years ago, and one of the things that we found out is he was a right-hander, but he never went right. He always liked to go left, and so we were giving him the left side. We play that right side, trying to get him to go that way, because he didn't have very good skills going to his right hand, which was crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So like 2 more questions, and we got to get out of here, you guys. We had a few people that are asking something similar, but Akil Kumar said how to not panic because of the defense. Quick. What is a quick answer for that?
Well, defensive players who crowd you are trying to get you to panic. Okay, and so our response to you would be then attack them, and attack them right now, and attack them through their hip. Don't try to go around them. That really forces them into a situation where they may foul you. Maybe they foul you a couple times. Now they got to get off you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real answer here is that you have to work on your skills if you want them to be there when you need to execute those skills. And a lot of that comes down to doing the 3 pillars of practice.
Yeah.
And really getting the experience behind it. But also go check out our videos where we talk about all of these tools that you can have that put you in control.
And you don't have to have 1,000 tools.
Yeah, you just have to have some things that you can force them to react to that will make it so that you are a step ahead no matter what you do.
Exactly.
Okay. I think that's good for today, you guys. We got to get out of here. We got a little camp stuff to run. But we want to thank you so much for sending your questions. If we didn't get to you, it's not because we don't like you. It's because we just ran out of time. Right. Before you go, we have 2 questions for you. Number 1 is our question of the day, week, /month, /year, that we ask every time that we meet you guys. And that is, where are you guys from? And we want to know where in the world you guys are playing basketball. And we have Daft Power 23 who says greetings from Colombia. And if you want to listen back, we have a ton of people from all over the place that are telling us where they're from. Keep sending that to us. We'd love to hear where you guys are.
That's great.
And our other question of the day is this: what is one aspect of basketball you wish you were better at, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, great.
All right. So
let us know.
Let us know that in the chat and on the comments on YouTube, and we will get back to some of you guys on that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow us on everything Shot Science, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. We are Shot Science on everything, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. See you later.